Gotcha. Get into it. Get into it. Yes. We're back. Oh, goodness. Mic is a little... Ooh, it's dusty. I'm about to clean that later. Hi. Welcome back with Storytime with Chris. As I always say, you don't have to watch these videos when they go live. You're more than welcome to watch them in your downtime, nap time, max relax, and chillax and time, in between time, eat time, ski time, study time, break time, CP time, any time that you want to hear a highly animated voice bring you wonderful stories of magic, fantasy, science fiction, adventure, music, and many, many more in between. We are back. Now, I know I missed an episode. Actually, did it? I thought I made that one. No, I did. I did read 2 chapters of this. Yes, we're caught up. Okay, it was our other book that we just finished yesterday is where I missed Wednesday. But that's fine, because it was the last chapter. So, hi. Let's get back with Kara, Lightfoot, and Dimplethumb and Squidgem, because they seem to be getting attacked from these mysterious creatures that just showed up in the forest. Chapter 8. Delvers. A band of delvers, at least a dozen of them, stood in the shadows at the edge of the clearing. Each was holding a spear topped by a wicked-looking metal point. Kara held her breath. Even her friends managed to stand against these numbers, which seemed unlikely. She could not imagine them coming through the battle unscathed. She began to tremble, though she had only known them for a day. The idea of any of them being hurt was more than she could bear. She tried to force her mind to erase the terrible images it was creating, images of Lightfoot being speared by a delver, falling, bleeding. "Stop it," she told herself. "You have to be ready to help." The thought astonished her. How could she help in the fight that seemed to be brewing? Yet she realized that she had no choice. If battle came, she would join in. The 2 groups stood staring at each other for a long moment. Then, to Kara's astonishment, 3 of the delvers carefully placed their spears on the ground. Holding their empty hands before them, they took 10 steps into the clearing. Kara edged closer to Lightfoot and laid her hand on his flank. "What's happening?" "I don't know. Just listen. I can't talk to you now. I have to pay attention to the enemy." She made no response but kept her hand in place. One of the delvers spoke. His voice was harsh, and the words Kara heard held no meaning at all. But through Lightfoot, she understood the delver to be asking if they could talk rather than fight. Lightfoot dipped his horn in response to the delver's request. The Dimplethumb growled suspiciously. The Squidgem seemed to have disappeared altogether, because he was scared. Kara wondered how the unicorn would communicate with the delvers. Would he have to pierce their hearts, or had he her own? To her surprise, he was able to approximate their language with sounds made deep in his throat. "What business do the children of the earth have with Lightfoot, son of Dancing Heart, son of Arabella Sky Dancer?" She blinked in surprise. Was Lightfoot the Queen's grandson? "My name is Nedzik," replied the Delver spokesman, his huge eyes shifting from side to side as if he was expecting trouble at any moment. "I come to you on business that is shameful, but necessary." The other Delvers muttered nervously. "Go on," said Lightfoot. "Though there is no love lost between Unicorn and Delver, we live in the same world."
"Through treachery,"
growled the Dimplethumb. Lightfoot shot him a warning glance. The Dimplethumb fell silent, though Kara could see it was an effort for him. Lightfoot turned back to the Delver. "Go on," he said again. Nedzik hesitated. He looked as if he was considering dropping the matter or simply fighting instead. The others shifted uneasily. Finally, he spoke again.
"Though we live in the same world, many of my people hate the unicorns so violently that they would do anything to strike at them. They would do this even if such a blow might bring great damage, even destruction to all of Luster."
He paused, looked behind him to the others, then continued.
"That is the way things stand now. That is why we have come to speak to you, though doing so means we are betraying our king."
He was blinking rapidly, and Kara realized that the sunlight hurt his enormous eyes. "What does the Delver King plan?" asked Lightfoot. Though it was not in his words, Kara could sense the confusion and fear that the Delver's message had created in him. Nedzak took a step back, and the other two weaponless delvers gathered around him. After a moment of whispering, he stepped forward again.
The king wishes to open a door to the world of men so that they can enter luster and hunt the unicorns.
The shock that ran through Lightfoot caused Kara to momentarily lift her hand from his flank. When she put it back, the delver was still speaking.
A thought long in his mind, but until now he did not have a way to implement it. That changed when Gamzil came upon the human child that stands next to you and tore from her the amulet she was wearing.
The Dimblethumb growled at the memory, causing the delver spokesman to flinch.
Gamzil is a fool. It did not recognize the amulet for what it is. He tried to steal it only because it is a pretty bauble. Not long after he came back crying back to our caves about it, a man came to us. A human who had just crossed here from Earth.
Kara caught her breath. The delver was almost certainly speaking of the man who had chased her and her grandmother into St. Christopher's. How had he made it through? Did he have an amulet of his own? Or had he somehow managed to jump through the opening she had created? A wall of guilt washed through her, and she was glad that Lightfoot could not read her thoughts unless she sent them to him.
This man began to ask questions, continued Nedzak, and it was not long before King Nerflax, who is smarter than he is wise, may the rocks not crush my feet, realized what he was seeking. When he also realized that Gamzil had had this very amulet in his hands and then lost it, his rage was mighty indeed.
Nedzak shook his enormous head.
Alas, poor Gamzil, even a fool does not deserve such a fate. Anyway, the king has sent out many groups in search of the child and the amulet. It was only luck that let us find you first.
The Dimblethumb's growl grew deeper. The delvers looked profoundly embarrassed.
What the king plans to do with the amulet has not been made widely known, continued the delver. Those among us who did not know his intentions are disturbed. Who do know his intentions are disturbed, but for the most willing part to go along. My cousins and I think this is madness. We believe that flinging open the doors will mean death and destruction for us all. Make no mistake, what we do now is treason. Should the king discover us, should word of this reach his ears, it will mean our lives. But so, we believe, will the success of his plan. He seeks the child and the amulet. You must flee, flee with all speed, flee with one eye before you and one eye watching behind. If you let the amulet fall into the hands of my people, the madness of our king will bring doom to us all.
He began to back away from them. Wait, said Lightfoot. Nedzak took another step back, then paused.
We must go. Every moment we talk to you, rather than fight you, we risk our lives.
You have our gratitude, said Lightfoot, bowing his head. He hesitated, then said, Will you travel with us? Should we meet others of your kind, the battle may go against us. If you truly believe your king's plan will cause such disaster, help us avert it.
That we cannot do,
said Nedzak, and Kara could sense a note of regret in his words.
We have done more than we should as it is.
He paused and added,
We can do this much more. We will point the chase in another direction. That should give you some time. Use it wisely.
With that, the creatures faded into the forest so swiftly and completely it was as if they had never been there at all. The Squidgem came racing down a tree.
Nasty, voice, strange, hatcha. No good, trust him.
He chattered, his lush gray tail twitching violently. Lightfoot shook himself. A shudder that ran from his shoulders through his flank and muttered, This is enough to make me wish my uncle were here.
What do you think we should do?
Growled the Dimblethumb. Head for Grimwald's Cavern as fast as we can. It's the closest safe haven. Besides, we may be able to get a message to the Queen from there. How? Asked Kara.
Talk later,
cried the Squidgem.
Now, shake butts, move feet, hatcha, get going.
The Squidgem is right, said Lightfoot. The sooner we're away from this place, the better, and we have at least a 7-day journey ahead of us.
Not necessarily,
said the Dimblethumb.
There is a shorter way.
Lightfoot snorted. Shorter, certainly, unless she catches us. In that case, we'll never get there at all. She? Asked Kara nervously.
Fire throat,
squeaked the Squidgem. He began to run in circles around Lightfoot's hooves, crying,
Run, hide, cover but's not safe, Hacha.
Lightfoot sighed. Of Luster's 7 dragons, Firethroat is the oldest and wisest. She is also the one least to be trifled with. She guards her territory well, does not take trespass lightly, and has no use for fools. A fact my uncle says would make it particularly dangerous for me to come into contact with her.
The choice is simple,
Said the Dimplethumb, backing up to a tree and rubbing his shoulders against it.
The Dimplethumb and his friends take the long way and spend 7 or 8 days trying to avoid the Delvers, or take the short route and spend a day and a half hoping Firethroat is not angered by them walking the edge of her territory.
He pushed against the tree harder and sighed, then added,
The Dimplethumb does not think the Delvers would expect anyone to go that way. Even if they do, they will not follow unless King Nerflax is more desperate than the Dimplethumb thinks. So the Dimplethumb says take the short route. If Firethroat is in a bad mood and eats the Dimplethumb and his friends, at least the amulet is safe from the Delvers.
For that, there was no answer, so it was decided that they would take the dragon path to Grimwald's cavern. It's just as well in a way, Lightfoot said to Kara later on. It's a much prettier route. You'll see some amazing things. Still in all, he left the sentence unfinished. She could tell he was contemplating the fate of a fool in the claws of a dragon. And that is where we will end for today. I hope you all have enjoyed this lovely reading. Go ahead and have an amazing day today, and I will see you all next time. Bye, lovelies. Bye-bye.